Hello friends and welcome to Sarthi classes. This is the last video from this chapter real numbers. In this video we are going to discuss how to determine the nature of decimal expansion of a rational number. Okay, now we know that real numbers are of two types, that is irrational and rational. The decimal expansion of an irrational number is neither repeating nor terminating. So we cannot determine the nature of decimal expansion of an irrational number. So we will be focusing only upon rational number. Now if we talk about the decimal expansion of a rational number, then it is of two types. First, it can be terminating and it can be non-terminating but repeating, that is recurring. Okay, now how do I determine whether a rational number has a terminating decimal expansion or a non-terminating decimal expansion? By just looking at it, I can always obtain the decimal expansion by dividing the numerator by the denominator. Okay, for example, if I divide 11 by 7, I will get a certain number, and at looking at it, I can determine that it is non-terminating or terminating. But if I don't want to divide this number and I want to find out that whether it has a terminating decimal expansion or a non-terminating decimal expansion, how will I do it? We are going to study that in this video. Okay, now for a rational number to have a terminating decimal expansion, there is a certain condition. The condition is condition for terminating decimal expansion. Okay, the condition for a terminating decimal expansion is that the prime factorization of its denominator, okay, should contains powers of 2, 5 or both. Okay, that is the prime factorization of denominator of the given rational number should contain powers of 2 or 5 or both. Okay, it means that the denominator of the number should be of the form 2 power m or 5 power m or both, that is 2 power m into 5 power m. Okay, these numbers can be different also. For example, we can also write it 5 power k. Okay, so if the denominator of any rational number has 2 in its denominator, has 5 in its denominator, or has both 2 and 5 in its denominator and nothing else, then the number will have a terminating decimal expansion. Otherwise the number will have a non-terminating but repeating decimal expansion always. Okay, here we should write only. Okay, the denominator should not contain any other integer except for 2 and 5. For example, if you look at 11 upon 7 and for instance 2 upon 5. Okay, now here the denominator is 7, that is neither 2 nor 5. Okay, so it will have a non-terminating decimal expansion. And here the denominator is 5. Okay, so it will have a terminating decimal expansion. Okay, now I need to find out that after how many digits the decimal expansion of a number will terminate. Okay, So for the condition for that is the highest power of 2 or 5 will be the number of digits after which the decimal expansion will terminate. Okay. Let powers of 2 are m and n. Okay, the power of 2 is m and the power of 5 is n. That is, the denominator is of the form 2 power m into 5 power n. Okay, if m is greater than n, if the value of m is greater than n, then decimal expansion of the number will terminate after m decimal places. Okay, and if if n is greater than m, then the decimal expansion will terminate after n decimal places. Okay, now we will do some questions based upon this topic. This topic is very simple. Okay, we will solve this 5 to 6 question upon this topic, then we are finished with the chapter real numbers. Now look at this problem. In this problem, we are given 6 numbers and we have to determine which of them has a terminating decimal expansion and which does not. And if it has a terminating decimal expansion, then after how many digits will its expansion terminates? Okay, so in the first question, if you look, both numerator and denominator are co-prime. Okay, first you need to check that. In the second step, you need to look at the prime factorization of its denominator. The prime factorization of its denominator will be 2 power 3. Okay, and it is of the form 2 power m. Okay, the prime factorization of the denominator should be 2 power m or 5 power m or both, 2 power m into 5 power something, for its decimal expansion to terminate. So the decimal expansion will obviously terminate. Okay, so since it is of the form 2 power m, since the denominator, or we can write, since the prime factorization of denominator is of the form 2 power m, so it has terminating decimal expansion. Okay, and after how many digits will its decimal expansion terminate? The highest power of 2 is 3 and we do not have the power of 5, which means the power of 5 is 0. Okay, so the decimal expansion will terminate after how many digits? It will terminate after 3 digits. Okay, now look at the second one. In this part, what do we have? We have 455 as its denominator. Both 64 and 455 are co-prime integers. First, we will find the prime factorization of 455. Okay, so we will find prime factorization of 455. The smallest prime number which divides 455 is, I guess, 5, and it will divide it 91 times. Okay, now the smallest prime number that divides 91, what is the number that divides 91? The smallest number that divides 91 is, I guess, 13. Okay, 13 sevens is what? 91. Okay, so it is divisible by 13. And again it will be divisible by 7. So the prime factorization of 455 comes out to be 5 into 13 into 7. Now, since the prime factorization of the denominator contains power of 13 and 7 other than power of 5, hence the decimal expansion of this number will not terminate. Okay, so we will write, since the prime factorization of denominator contains powers of, or we can just write 13 and 7. So it will not terminate. Okay, the decimal expansion will be non-terminating, non-recurring. Okay, now look at the third one. Here you should know that 343 is the cube of 7. Okay, so I will simply write 7 cube here. Now again, the prime factorization of the denominator contains powers of 7 only, so it will also have a non-terminating decimal expansion. Okay, in the next part, what we have 15 upon 1600. Okay, first of all, you need to notice that both these terms are not co-prime. Okay, they are divisible by the same number. So first we will divide them by 5. I will get 3 here and I will get 320 here. Okay, now I can say that 3 and 320 are co-prime. Now the new number is 320. If I find out the prime factorization of 320, what it will be? The prime factorization of 320 will be, first I will divide it by 2, I will get 160, again dividing by 2 I will get 80, again dividing by 2 I will get 40, again dividing by 2 I will get 20, again dividing by 2 I will get 10, again dividing by 2 I will get again 5, and now dividing by 5 I will get 1. So the prime factorization is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is 3 upon 2 power 6 into 5 power 1. So the prime factorization of denominator contains both powers of 2 and powers of 5. So the decimal expansion will terminate. And after how many digits will the expansion terminate? Which is the highest power, 6 or 1? The highest power is 6. So the decimal expansion will terminate after 6 digits. Okay. Since 6 is highest power, so expansion will terminate after 6 digits. Okay, in the next problem, we will do the same thing. We will first find out the prime factorization of the denominator, and if the prime factorization of the denominator contains powers of 2 or 5 or both, we will say that the given number has a terminating decimal expansion, and the highest power of 2 or 5, whichever is the highest, whichever has the highest power, will determine after how many digits will its decimal expansion terminates. Okay. In the last problem also, it is given that the power of 2 is 3 and the power of 5 is 2. So this decimal expansion will terminate, and the highest power is 3. So the decimal expansion will terminate after 3 digits. Okay, I hope you will do this both these questions and will have no difficulty in doing them. This chapter is finished. Now we will start polynomials. First of all, we will understand what are polynomials, then we will learn what are zeros of the polynomial, then we will study how to draw the graph of polynomial, then we will find the relation between zeros of the polynomial and the coefficients of the polynomial. Okay, so we will start these topics from the next video. Okay, I hope you have understood real numbers very well, including this topic. If you have any doubt from this chapter, feel free to ask them in the comment section. Okay, uh, if you like the content, then please like and share this video and the playlist, of course, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. God bless you all.